Hello, Mr. Squigs.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? You got cards?
Yeah, I'm good. I got my cards here. We went to locals, and this is the deck I used. It is pure Numeron X and 2. I actually did really well. My only 2 losses were to Virtual World and Prank Kids. And Prank Kids, it was because I forgot how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I had a set Infinite Impermanence and an Effect Veiler in hand, and just let him full combo, and then he was like, okay, I ended, it's your turn. And I was like, fuck, I could have fucking stopped you. I don't know what I was doing. I was high.
You're trolling.
Yeah, and then Zodiac was Zodiac Kaiju. So in Numerons, as you'll see, if you already know, then you know, but if you don't, you'll see why Kaijus really fuck this deck. So yeah, that was unfortunate. But yeah, let's go ahead and get in. So, 3 copies of Numeron Wall, the only Numeron main deck monster. If you control no cards on the field, you can send him to the graveyard. And I believe he activates the field spell. Yeah, activates, so you cannot ash that. It's pretty delicious. So yeah, you get that, you get your field spell out. Pretty good, pretty self-explanatory. You'll get to the field spell in a second, but again, if you know, you know. The whole deck relies on the field spell, so if you don't have it, you're fucked. Which is why I play 3-planet Pathfinder. Because you don't need your normal summon at all. So that is my normal summon. Yeah, so normal summon, get your field spell, and just go from there. Of course, they can ash that, and that does suck. So now we get into the hand traps. So 3 Ash, 3 Ghost Ogre, 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Nibiru, and 3 Impermanence. And I don't know if you want to call this a hand trap or not, but 3 Gamasiel. So this is just pretty self-explanatory. As the Numeron Wall is the only Numeron main deck monster, you have so much room to fill with other shit. So Ash Blossom, this is obviously going second. Blind going second, OTK, Complete Annihilation. But if you are forced to go forced to go first, there are ways to help deal with that. But Ash stops your opponent from searching. Ghost Ogre disrupts the field. Effect Veiler, we all know what this does. Ghost Ogre is also really good for popping your own Zexal. It's not like optimal, but if you have gained following turn and all you gotta do is pop your own Zexal, you do it. But Imperm's good. Nibiru came up a couple times, but one of the times it came up was when it was the Zodiac player who had AA Zeus, and I went to Nibiru and he was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna send 2 and send everything, so it kind of just fizzled out, so it wasn't great. But Gamasiel here, he is the best Kaiju because with the way the math works out with your Numeron Gate monsters, he has the perfect amount of attack to where if that's the only monster in your opponent's field and your attacks go uninterrupted, you have game right there. That's enough for 8,000 straight. So those are my hand traps.
Do you feel you lose consistency having so many like hand traps and stuff?
I think I only had 1 dead hand. And even when I had the dead hand, I had so many hand traps that my opponent didn't have many other things. So we kind of both just kind of stalled for a minute. But I run 3 copies of the field spell and terraforming, so that's 4, 3-planet Pathfinder, and 3 copies of Numeron Wall. So 10 out of 40 of my cards is my field spell. So 25% chance that the top card.
And then Numeron, you just get field spell, you win?
Yeah, Numeron, you get field spell, you win. As long as it's uninterrupted. So, like I said, 4 copies of the field spell, Numeron Network, and terraforming. What Numeron Network does, if you control no monsters, you can send a Numeron spell card from your deck to the graveyard and activate its effect. Because it's also what is it again? Let's see. Send 1 Numeron spell that meets activation requirement. Okay, so it sends for cost, so that cannot be ashed either. So we don't give a fuck about ash in this deck. It's pretty cool, except for playing Pathfinder, so when it matters. But Numeron Network, if you control no monsters, you spend the Numeron Calling to the graveyard for cost, activate it, and that brings out your 4 gates, which gives you OTK, another potential as well. So we'll get into that. It's also okay to hard draw the Numeron Calling. It's not great, but it's not the worst. You don't really want to hard draw it since they can't ash it, but it's still okay. And then for the 1-ofs, we play Upstart for consistency, 1 for 1 to get you Numeron Wall. So really 11 out of my 39 cards really are. So yeah, I don't really have a consistency problem. I'm the fucking best.
Nice job.
Feather Duster, because again we're blind second, we're at the back row. It's pretty nice. This card here nobody had knew that card existed, and it's super weird. So you pay 1,000 life points, or both players lose 1,000 life points. So it also helps since you're trying to OTK. Each player draws a card, keeping it revealed. All cards drawn while this card's on the field stay revealed. And if any player has a spell card revealed in their hand, you cannot normal summon. And when people read this, they think, okay, as long as I have this card in my hand, I can't normal summon, I have to activate it. But really all you have to do is set it, and then you're good. But people don't know that. Nobody ever thought to just set the spell card. They always activated or just passed. It was the craziest thing. So the fact that it was a card nobody had even seen, it actually really helped me out against the Zodiac player in particular. Prank Kids also had no idea what the fuck that was. Although I did lose both.
You're about to say you lost both of them.
But yeah, it was pretty fun. Just seeing the look on all those people's faces. So this is what makes it not budget. So we play 3 copies of Lightning, almost said Lightning Vortex. 3 copies of Lightning Storm because, again, going second, basically these are my second, third, and fourth copies of Harpy's Feather Duster. And then 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talent because, again, going second helps me a lot of my stuff. If I do get interrupted, I can draw 2 cards. It's just so fucking versatile. And in the Prank Kids duel, I had nothing in my hand. It was all shit except for my Triple Tactics Talent. And he had his Battle Butler, and I think it was 4, because he had I can't remember the exact scenario that happened, but on my turn I drew and he fusion summoned somehow, and then a Prank Kid's activated in the graveyard to either burn me or heal him, and then he got Battle Butler. So I immediately Triple Tactics Talent to take his Battle Butler, and he couldn't do anything.
Wow.
He can't even chain the Battle Butler because I don't have any monsters. So I don't know if a lot of people know that, but you could not activate Battle Butler if I don't have any monsters just to blow him up. So I
didn't know that. That's actually insane.
It was a big brain play.
That was
so
I took that was an IQ.
And then I blew up the Battle Butler, and he goes, okay. Scoops up his Prank Kid, sends him out of the graveyard, and then I proceed to play. So that was probably the best thing that happened to me.
That is insane. I had no idea it worked that way.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
That was really good.
So that's the main deck. There's not a lot going on. Again, it's mostly hand traps because you want to go second, disrupt your opponent, board breaking cards. But the extra deck is where we get into the meat. So we play 2 sets of the Numeron Gate package. Oh god, these got mixed up somehow. I can't count. So when you activate Numeron Calling or Network to send Calling from Grave, you can special summon. I think it's 4 or up to 4. Either way, you always do. No, I think up to 4. So if you're playing around Nibiru, you can just special summon 3, and you still have everything you need to do.
They all have the same effect, right?
Yeah, they're all the same rank, same effect, same attack, same defense, same everything. But what they do, so you detach a material to double the attack of all Numeron Gate monsters after they have battled. You'll attack one, the combination of a battle. So you attack into something, double the attack of your rest, attack again, double the attack of the last 2, and then either attack directly or attack again and double the attack of the last one. So
8,000.
Yeah, so that's why Gamasiel is the best one, because if you pull out your 4 and it's Gamasiel, you'll take 1,200, double, they'll all become 2,000. You take 200, so you take 1,400 total, and then you're left with 2 4,000 attack monsters. You'll attack, deal 1,800, double the attack of number 4, and he becomes 8,000. So
that even goes around Upstart Goblin.
Yeah, even it does go around Upstart Goblin. So yeah, it's pretty good. That's the big combo. If for some reason they imperm one of your monsters, which would negate the effect to double the attack, you still have other places to go into, such as, depending on the matchup, like these are my other monsters to go into. So depending on who it is who you want to bring out. So I went against Dinos, and I believe I brought this guy out, Megaclops, just because the Evolzar monsters can't really do anything to him once he's already out. But I didn't pull it out against Zodiac because it's
I lost that card against the Zodiac player.
Yeah, this card's ridiculous. It takes just 3 Xyz monsters and then can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effects unless it's by Xyz monsters. And he's 4,000, and he can suck up your opponent's monsters and special summon your own Xyz. He's pretty ridiculous. Access code talker lets you win games you really shouldn't win, just based on the monsters you have. Avramax is really good. He can't be targeted, basically can't be destroyed by battle with a special summoned monster, so he is really hard to get rid of the field, and if you do manage to get rid of him, you send a card from your opponent's field back into the deck. So super good card. But the main one you want to get out, depending on if you're going first, is Zexal, because then on your opponent's turn, you will activate this to make it to where they can't activate cards or effects for the rest of the turn. And in the Zodiac dual Zodiac Kaiju, no matter which one I brought out, he just Kaiju'd over it. So Axis Kotaku got Kaiju'd over, Infinitrack got Kaiju'd over, Avermax got Kaiju'd over, Zexal got Kaiju'd over. It was bullshit. And in some games, I don't bring him out often, but I do really like this card, number C1. So you'll exceed summon the number 1, banish all monsters on the field, except for himself, I believe. No, including himself. And then he special summons to your field on your next standby phase, and as long as the field spell is still out, your opponent gets burned for the combined attack of all banished Xyz monsters, which is at least 3,000. So if you're in that range, and that's going to be the next play you're going to make, and you're going to burn for 3 for game, that's the way to go.
Nice.
And the last 2 cards is just an access code talker package. Since you do play the effect veiler, I wish I had space for Halki Fibrax, or else I would have replaced him with Halki Fibrax, because it just would have been so much better. But I did at one point normal summon Ash Blossom to get to Access Kotaku using Selene. So it did its job, but it would have been easier with Halki Fibrax. So that's all that is. So you made a Bumble today?
Guys, follow me on Bumble.
I don't think the girls on Bumble will be watching this video. All right, cut please.
Any girls, I'll accept everything.
All right, GG's, bro. So I'm going second. So we've got Nibiru, which is not great. Numeron Wall, Feather Duster, Numeron Calling, Effect Veiler, 6 card being Ash.
Wow. Let's assume that you use these.
I'm going second.
Yeah, so it's your turn, but like they did you going full combo?
Oh yeah, I forgot. For some reason, I just completely forgot how Yu-Gi-Oh works, and I was like, damn.
I mean, let's assume you even do Nibiru.
Yeah, let's assume I didn't do Nibiru. I will assume that I've Ashed and Effect Veilered, and that they maybe have 1 or 2 monsters, a back row or 2, and pass. So, obviously just gonna Feather Duster immediately, because
Backboard clear.
why not? Yeah, so.
You almost don't even need to playground anything now.
I know, I pretty much don't. Which is good. This hand's okay, but it's just a quick combo. So, Numeron Wall, without having anything on the field, you're gonna send it to the graveyard. And you're gonna get out 4 Gate Boys. And depending on how many cards they have in their hand, I might play around Nibiru. So it really depends on the setup. You have to make that judgment call, but I'm just gonna not for the sake of the video. So again, I'll assume they have a monster. If you attack, you're not destroyed by battle. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to get the field spell. It's like I skipped. Again, I don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Field spell to send the calling from deck to graveyard. I would activate the one in the hand, but as long as I have 2 cards in the hand, they think I have more hand traps. So that's better than me using it in the hand and then only have 1.
That's trust. That's trust.
So you'll attack. You'll take some damage, double the attack of the rest of the monsters. They're 2,000. You'll attack again. If you destroy the monsters, then they're both 4,000, so that's still
8,000.
8,000. If they don't, you'll attack with this 4,000. Make him 8,000 attack directly. That's pretty much game.
I don't know. Can Nibiru token on the other side of the field be at attack position?
Yeah.
So that's another way.
Nibiru and I gave them the token, depending on how big it was.
As long as it's below 4,000, you still win.
Yeah. So it's gonna be fine. But let's just say they are playing a life point heal deck and they have 20,000 life points. What's my next move?
Aroma Mage.
Yeah, so again, all the options here, if they're less than 3,000, you can go into C1. If it's a matchup where you're really scared what they're going to do, Zexal's a good option. You can go into Avermax, which is good unless you're dueling against Kaijus. If you're not dueling against Zodiac, I recommend Megaclops. He's just really fucking good. And you don't have any links in here, so access code would not be useful there. So yeah, you don't do access code in that situation. But I would probably do Megaclops or Avermax depending on the situation. Yeah, so that's just so standard. You know, I kind of want to show a little more, but
I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do with Numeron, right?
Yeah, this pretty much is just Numeron, and it's so consistent because, like I said earlier, 11 of the 39 cards in the deck get you what you got to do. And the other, you know, what is that, 28 cards are hand traps. So, yeah.
Any of those are Glamour Seal. It doesn't even matter what monsters they have.
It is very true. If it was Gamma Seal, that's game.
Yeah.
And of course, you got the tactics, the imperms. It's super consistent, a lot of fun. And again, if you can play that contract with Dawn Thousand's Throne, people forget how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. It's so much fun to watch.
Like you forgot how to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Like how I forgot. So, that's pretty much. There's not much to it. Super fun. If you're not prepared for the deck, you lose the deck. And that's one thing I do like about it. It wasn't the deck I wanted to play, but I had ordered cards and didn't come in, so I was like, fuck, what am I going to play? I had like an hour to decide. And I just went with this because it was easy. I know the strategy. So if you haven't tried it, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Play online. People do hate the deck, especially if you pull out Zexal. If you win the first duel and you go or they make you go first, thinking you don't want to be OTK'd, you do the exact same thing. Only do 3 to play around Nibiru, because that's all it takes for Zexal. Because if you left this from the field, it would be banished, so you may as well not. Just go into Zexal, pass, they go, and unless they have droplets, and you shotgun this in the standby phase, they play droplets, you're fucked, the whole thing's gone. But if they don't have droplets, for the most part, or imperm would do it too. But in that case, you were fucked anyways. Alright guys, Squigs signing out.